Last week I was in Cornwall. This week I'm back home in Kent. Last week I was out at Wilcoats, surrounded by some beautiful wild heather. This week I've come out to Hothfield Heathlands, one of the fewest spots in Kent to even have wild heather. Let's see how we get on. But first I just need to get across this road and then through these woods. And you know what? It's a little bit dense, a little bit dark in there. I don't want to have to rely on the low light capabilities of my action camera, end up with shaky footage. So I'll speak to you in just a second. Okay, I think I made the right call in not doing any filming in those woods. However, coming out to Hothfield Heathlands seems to be a bit of an annual pilgrimage for me, and an annual pilgrimage that happens a week after Cornwall. And I'm back here again, same time of the year, maybe a little bit earlier if memory serves me right. But trouble with flora when you're shooting things like wild heather, shooting things like bluebells, is knowing when the optimal time is to get out to a particular location. Usually my best approach is I'll go on social media, look through images that have been previously taken at a location and see if it's the right time to go. If you jump on social media now and look for wild heather, you'll see that there are millions, or maybe not millions, there's a ton of shots at the moment from the Peak District where there's some lovely purples. However, as I've said, Hothfield Heathlands, it's one of the few areas in the entire county. It's the only area that I've ever come across down here in Kent that has wild heather. This in particular is one of those scenes that I always find myself being pulled back to time and time again. This year though, so I think I've come out a little bit earlier, but in some ways I think that's a good thing because it looks like there's some more purples, some more pinks in the heather. It's not quite dying out yet. This shot though, hopefully I've been able to get a better version. This will go and be my best version yet, fingers crossed. Just walk you through the composition ever so quickly. I've got a tree over on the right, another tree over on the left. But what I love about this scene is you've got almost like a forked path. You've got a path leading you down over towards the right, a path leading you over from the left, and then you've got the path leading you straight down the middle, straight through both of the trees. Let me get the live view on and you can see what I mean. So we've just got this one path here. Second path coming up from the right of the shot and leading into the back. Then we've just got all this wild heather dotted around. I think the difficulty is I might yet need to adjust the tripod before I take the final shot. Is the tree over on the right, as you can see, it's disappearing. I can't get the full tree into the shot. Maybe it works a little bit better because of course I'm achieving it with the tree in the background. I think the focus has to be on this wild heather down here, all around in the foreground, making sure I take advantage of those lovely colours. I've even got some ferns down here on the floor around me, which is just perfect. I might even have to take a bit of a low down shot as well. We'll have to wait and see. Talking you through the settings though, ISO 100, because of course I'm on the tripod. I think I'm going to be taking about 3 shots here. I'm at f8 for the aperture, everything nice and sharp. And then, like I say, taking 3 shots because we've got a nice amount of cloud in the sky, nice a bit of distant cloud, not too much texture, a soft cloud in the background. But for me to be able to get that in, I'm going to need an exposure bracket, which means I'm going to need to take 3 shots. So I think the underexposed or the overexposed shot is at 1/15 of a second. And then if I can get myself going the right way, yep, I'm then going to go and take my exposed shot at 1/30th of a second, and then my underexposed effort is going to be around 1/60th of a second. Hopefully putting together something a bit like this. Okay, one thing I have to admit though, is I really don't get how flora works in some cases. Take bluebells, for example. I remember seeing a post from Nigel Danson back around May time. He travelled down to the Dorset area, was capturing some beautiful bluebells, some of that real blue nature's carpet I like to talk about. And it made me laugh because he posted on social media saying, us down south, we don't realise how good we get it in terms of the bluebells. I got me thinking, I was like, it's great that we get the bluebells down here in Kent. I think someone told me once that we see more bluebells in Kent than anywhere else in the whole of England. Yet, in terms of wild heather, we barely see anything down this way. Of course, you go up to the Peak District, and like I said at the start, you go on social media at the moment, and there are just so many posts at the moment where people are taking advantage of those beautiful scenes. It's the big reason why I'm hopeful, or I'm hoping and I'm planning on heading to the Peak District in mid-September, hoping that I won't get up there too late to be able to capture some scenes just like this one, just like what I've been able to enjoy out here today. Although, of course, it's the Peak District, isn't it? If I get up there too late, if the heather has started to die away, it's not the end of the world, is it? There's still going to be plenty of landscapes to be able to capture. Okay, slowly time to start winding down the video. I think I'm going to focus on this one last composition. Come out here this morning, focused on finding wild heather, and I've been successful. I've managed to achieve that main goal. But what I didn't expect to find were these lovely Highland cows, which are just calmly sitting in and amongst the lovely purple heather itself at the moment. Really can't beat this scene I've got in front of me. Got one Highland cow just here in the foreground, having some breakfast, minding its own business. It's had a photographer come and ruin this morning. You've got to feel sorry for it, but it's just perfectly sitting here in the foreground. We've got some dots we've got some wild heather dotted around in the foreground with some lovely green ferns. Got lovely. The best thing for me, I find, with wild heather is the colour that you get around it. It's not just the purples. It's not just the purples like you get with bluebells, where it's just a blue carpet endlessly off into the background. Instead, we've got some lovely green in the ferns, got some brown ferns as well. We've of course got our Highland cow in the foreground. We've got a couple of others dotted around. Got one with its back to me, and we've got one right in the background standing up, rubbing itself against a tree. And then of course, we also have this lovely oak tree in the background. It's just perfect almost how the shot is just framed for me. At the moment, time of taking this shot, we don't have too much light. So let's get the camera on. I want to focus in on the cow itself to try and keep the shutter down, or to try and get a reasonable shutter speed. I've gone to ISO 2000. I've actually dropped to f4 for the aperture. Normally I'd shoot at f8, get everything in sharpness, but for me to get a shutter of 1/60th of a second with the movement with these Highland cows, I'm gonna have to go to f4 ISO 2000 just to make sure I get a nice amount of sharpness. Got some lovely mist in the background as well. This is just a perfect scene to end the video, really. Sometimes you come out, you go out and you think to yourself, right, I want to go out and capture this. I want to go, for me today, it was about, I want to come out and capture some wild heather. And it really is beautiful, it really is lovely when you get elements like this that you really don't expect. It is just perfect, a lovely way to end the morning. Oh, ow, ow, ow. Okay, so like I say, I think it's time to wrap up this particular video, and what a place to do it. Got some lovely views of the countryside with some heather in the foreground. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you've enjoyed the images. But until next time, is goodbye.